Hey folks, it's like 6 a.m. and I don't know what to tell you. I have another little drama going on, which I hope it's just in my head, but I don't think so. Let me tell you something. But 2 weeks ago, it was a nice day here. The weather was actually 7 degrees, and I was outside doing my thing. I saw one of my really good friends from the last job I had. A really great guy, very in touch with himself, spiritual seeker. I don't see him as much as I used to. He used to live in this building, but he moved to another part of the city, but we've kept in touch. One of the greatest guys I know. Anyhow, he just lost his job. He had gone back to the place that we worked together, the one that I left when my parents came after me. 3 years later, they called him back. Called me too, but I didn't. I had no interest. So he went back to work for them. Things were going great. He felt it was a different experience. He would last longer this time. At some point, he went to Las Vegas. He had saved some money. And around Christmas time, he left for a week. He came back and they fired him. It's exactly why I never went back. They were, I'll talk about them another time. They kind of remind me of Donald Trump in a way because they were definitely narcissistic or psychopathic, one of them. I mean, I have stories for you. But I love those guys, even if they were abusing us. When it comes to capitalism and jobs, I won't speak about women being sexually harassed because I don't understand that really. If I've never been sexually harassed, or if I have, I haven't noticed it. But when it comes to being abused on the job, it's kind of par for the course. I've had many jobs, and from the lowest to the highest, the amount of abuse heaped upon my shoulders has not really changed. It's always been pretty high. That's the nature of working for anyone in any position that has any responsibility. So I never really hold anything against any of my bosses, ex-bosses. Even though I was fired a couple of times for really no reason at all, in cruel ways. Alright, so here's a really bad story. So this guy, he loses his job. He doesn't know what to do. He's traumatized, basically. And he makes what I would consider to be an awful decision. It's a decision none of us should ever make when we're traumatized. And that decision is called a rash. So it's not any specific decision. It's just making rash decisions when you're traumatized. Bad idea. I wasn't able to make any other decision than no decision. I was flattened on my couch. So there was no rash decisions coming out of me, except maybe going no contact, which, as all of you know, is not very rash. It's actually rational. It's the only rational solution. Okay, so my friend gets traumatized, and his rash decision is to go to Mexico with the rest of his money, which wasn't very much, with no return ticket, by himself, with no plans. Now, when he told me that, he was about to leave 2 days later. Ticket has been purchased. It was too late. Otherwise, I would have freaked out on him. I would have taken a hairy conniption and lose it and let the worst of me, the Tasmanian devil in me, just ferociously rip him apart. Because where I come from, in my city, honestly, I would say 1 out of 5 single men who travel to Mexico are never found again. As you know, Mexico is replete with vicious criminality. It's run by cartels. So how many young men who are either in the drug trade here in our city or not in the drug trade have been murdered? I've lost count. I've lost count. So when my friend told me he's going, I mean, the first piece of advice I gave him was something that I don't know where it came out of. Well, I do know where it came out of, and you know where it came out of, but I never actually thought about it consciously. I said to him, be careful of people who are friendly to you. And I never would have thought of that before my experience with my psychopath, and before researching psychopaths and how narcissists, treat people when they first meet them. So that was my warning. And he laughed and giggled and said someone else had told him a similar thing. Anyhow, so I was extremely worried. I mean, it wasn't even so much I was worried, I was resigned. As soon as he told me he's going to Mexico alone, I said, there's another trauma coming up for me. I'll be ready for it, but I'm going to lose my friend. I just don't think there's a chance he's going to come back alive. And if he does come back alive, I mean, I hope he does, obviously. I hope the injuries are as minor as possible. And that was my thinking. And this morning, that was my thinking when I first heard he was going. And the city he's going to is also the city that I know all the international drug criminals, that's where they meet. That's their international meeting place. So even if it isn't local crime, people will be meeting there as a man by himself from this part of the city. He can get himself in a lot of trouble that he's just too innocent. He's 15 years younger than me, around there, 10 years, and he's just not ready. Not that I am. I wouldn't go. So, listen to this. He's gone 2 days, and the United States puts out a travel warning that they're pooling all of their consulate members, specifically from this city of Mexico. And it's Playa del Carmen, by the way, Playa del Carmen. And they're doing it because there had been an attack on a tourist ferry, an explosion. So my first thinking is my friend's already dead. As I read deeper in, it happened a few days before my friend got there. So I was like, okay, thank God he's not dead yet, but this is not good. I was already afraid for him going. And there had never been a travel advisory, and now there is. And then what happens today? That's a really, really, I'm not just shooting off my mind. I know what's going on in the world. This is just sick. This morning I wake up and I read some guy from my city. Where is it? I'd rather not read this to you because where is it, man? Well, basically, it's coming up here. The guy went there, and his words upon returning in an ambulance to Canada were, "I will never travel to Mexico again." A man driving a taxi and an accomplice choked and beat him, stole his phone and cash, and left him for dead while he was in Mexico at Playa del Carmen. Just happened. He goes, "I'll never go to Mexico again." He was from Ontario, 26 years old. He's alive. He's healthy. They only smashed him over the head. They beat him up. They didn't stab him, and they didn't shoot him, thank God. If my friend can get away with that, just getting beaten up, I'll be happy. Because He's a blonde, open-hearted innocent. He's a lamb to the slaughter. And I Facebooked the guy 3 days ago, and I haven't checked if he's responded because I don't want to see that he hasn't. So I'm gonna do it right now. Now that you guys are on here, I'll be shocked. I mean, look, I'll be happy. Look, obviously I'll be happy. I want him to be fine. So let's just see what he says. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Ah, you see? He didn't respond. He didn't respond. I'm telling you, my friend's gonna get killed in Mexico if he's not already killed. I really hope I'm wrong. I mean, I've hoped I've been wrong a lot the past couple of years. And this is just one I really, 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 really hope I'm wrong. If I were to hear from him now, I'd tell him just to come home. Anyhow, I just wanted to let you know that because you know, I'm gonna need you guys if he doesn't come back. Okay, you know what? Maybe it's just all in my head. I'll leave it at that. Anyways, his name is Everett. A good friend of mine. Ah, God.